in all of the ancient, not even ancient, but the older cultures. The center of the village was considered centrum. It was a centralmost part of the social fabric. It was usually like a sculpture, a fountain, and a big square, where people debated their politics, and they performed their theater, and they displayed their artwork, and they met and they socialized. And when you walk out there in the old countries and you put your equipment down, you don't have to explain to anybody what you're doing. If you're a performer, they know right away because they remember their part. As in theater, you need a performer and you need a live audience. So America, unfortunately, got developed at the same time as the automobile. So what happened is they forgot about the centrum, and they laid out their streets and grids for cars, and they forgot to leave that place. At that point, theater started moving indoors, and outdoor theater became the illegitimate bastard cousin of legitimate theater, when in actuality, street theater is the mother of all theater. Theater never really started moving, with one exception in ancient Rome. Theater really never moved indoors until about the 16th century.
It started from marching band. We used to play music all the time.
We were all in the high school band together.
And there some folks, some kids that couldn't afford going to the band. So we said, we had to put this thing together, we're gonna help.
We made up this band and we started raising money for kids who couldn't go.
The money we made, we donated it to the people who couldn't afford to go on a band trip, so everybody could be happy.
And then after that, it became a regular thing.
Well, my name is David Whitley. I'm originally from Maine. Spent probably the biggest part of my life on the southwest coast. And I'm a street musician.
I got my first guitar from my grandfather that he found on a dump in Lewiston, Maine. It was a K archtop guitar. He took it home and fixed it. There was a couple things wrong with it, but he was a cabinet maker and stuff, so he had a shop and knew all about that shit. So he fixed it all up, and it had really bad action and it sounded bad. And it was like one of those Sears and Roebuck style guitars. And that was when I was about 8. Growing up, we lived really close to Freiburg, Maine, and they had a big fair every year. And there was these two guys that would sit out there and play street music. One played electric keyboard or like battery powered piano, and the other one played guitar. And they would sing. And I was always curious about that. Street musicians. I always thought that was really, really cool.
Walk through this world, I'm in my own shoes, and I don't have to feel bad. Sometimes I still got to pay a little dues, 'cause I live my own dream, and I draw my own lines, and I won't take what I see until I see what it is.
And I was having coffee with my friends in this coffee group, and this one guy goes, "Oh, man, you should go down to the mall and play." And I was like, "Those are traveling gypsies, I live here. I can't do that. I'm like conventional." And one time I had a bunch of coffee, and I went down here. I made like $36 in an hour, and I was like, "Oh, I'm quitting my day job." It may feel green, and among that time way, tell my troubles if you go my way. I got no mother, got no father, I got no sister, and no brother. high. I mean, it's so magical in the street. I've played inside in coffee shops or bars or at a mic, at an open mic. It just doesn't matter. When you're out in the fresh air and people are communicating and interacting, oh my gosh. There's just nothing like it. And my ex-husband says to my kids, well, it's too bad about your mom. She's out begging on the streets. And then I got my picture on the front page of the Daily Camera. I'm such a bummer. I don't really want to play inside.
We play the indoor gigs, and they're pretty neutral, you know. But I think the best ones are the outside gigs. The outside gigs are more of, you have all different types of people coming from all different types of cultures. You have Caucasians, you have African, Black Americans, you have Spanish people. You have little kids, you know, and see, these inside gigs don't allow all these people in. You know, most of the inside gigs are invitation only, or, you know, or this club member, different things like that. But the outside gigs, you get a big collaboration of all kinds of people. The street performances we do, people basically get to the point where they just lose their mind. I've seen guys on top of the red light. I've seen guys on top of buildings dancing. We've had people just get naked in the middle of the street, basically get naked.
Well, generally indoor gigs pay a lot better. You know, I usually make between $50 and $100 a night to play inside somewhere. And playing street music, you know, some days you have really good days, but you're not usually going to make $100. In Austin, I feel like I had a really good day.
You know how there's like Sunday, you take a day of rest? I'll usually go like 4 or 5 days and I'll take a day off. I'll just take a day off. It'll just feel like today I'm not supposed to work.
I don't have a particular schedule, so I just come out, you know, like, but I try to make it, you know, 3 or 4 times a week because this is how I make my living. You know, I don't have a 9-to-5 job.
You don't have a 9-to-5 job?
No, I don't. You know, I don't have a 9-to-5 job. This is my job.
And can you make a living?
Yeah, you know, it's not the greatest living, but, you know, it's a living, you know.
Hey, you think we can go get some coffee?
I don't have car notes. I don't have no mortgages to pay, so got no kids, no cats. So, you know, I'm all right.
Don't need lots of money cause I got no car. I can make enough with my guitar.
I decided a while back that I just wanted to do music for a living for a while, and whatever lifestyle that gave me I would be happy with.
Living on the street, it's hard on your feet.
Kind of meager, a lot of camping.
Gotta get your news.
For a long time I never had no car or anything like that, so it was really easy to just live in my backpack, camp out.
Want everything you see, everything I need I could get for free. You pay for what you want everything you see.
It was kind of a pivot point though when I figured out that I could be pretty happy and have a good time with absolutely nothing. And that I could make enough money each day to survive just by playing guitar. Once I knew that for sure, and then I really, money insecurity is not a motivator.
I come out at night because I can't play in the daytime. It's too rowdy, and I don't have the big amplification system. So I have to find a place that's quiet and acoustics is great, and I can just still play and get into the music. And that's why I choose to play at night. It's less lucrative, but it's just better for my spirit. I reach my spiritual accomplishment at that time. So it works.
Muni in NY means Music on New York, and it's the organization that manages and that administers the program, which deals with musicians performing in certain spots in the subway system where they're designated Muni spots where you have high visibility. And you can play with an amplifier, and the cops don't bother you. You put up your banner, they see it, so you're cool. If you don't have a Muni permit, you can't really play with an amplifier on the platform. If you don't have a Muni permit, the cops could stop you at any time for whatever reasons. And the human beings always have reasons for doing what they want to do, legal or not, righteous or not. So. But with the permit, you have, a degree of immunity against that. So, it's good.
How did you get your Muni permit?
I sent a tape, auditioned for it. I think it was in June. Called me back. I went to the audition. I got in, and the rest is history.
What are your expectations for this playing on the subway?
Just to share the music with because it's like millions of people go through that system every day, and we can reach so many people in such a short frame of time between like the times they get on and off the train. That period right there, so much can happen in 3-5 minutes, and playing in the subway just gives us exposure to people that normally probably would not even hear us play.
Dream a little bit. If you get this big record contract, would you still be playing in the subway?
Oh yes, definitely. It's such a beautiful thing to come down to the subway. People tell me that sometimes like they're coming from work, they feel just dejected because they had a bad day at work, and they hear music that just touches them, and they just feel so much better. Like they tell us, oh, thank you so much. I had such a rough day at work. The boss was just acting crazy, and just coming down here. Some of them sit down and miss the train for like an hour sometimes just to listen to the music. So I know we're doing public service.
We're just all about the reason we go out there is because we love to minister to people. And sometimes somebody will be going by and you don't know they're in a 3-piece suit and they just pulled up and they parked their SUV, but they just found out their mom's got cancer, or they just found out they got cancer. I was singing one time and this punk girl, slides down this wall and just starts sobbing. I don't know, that 60s music is amazing. Other time, this big football guy comes and sobs on my shoulder, and I'd been singing Amazing Grace. And he said, my mom used to sing that to me every night at bedtime. Music just touches people. And some of them, it makes them really sad, but they need to cry. Crying is really good for them, and they haven't cried in a long time. And it just cuts right through all the bullshit. And it's good. And then somebody will come along and have their kids start making all this racket, So you got to go and tell them, we kind of have a way of working with one another on the mall, and you just violated that. You're too close to me, but if you'll wait 15 minutes, I'll be done and you can have my spot.
Yeah, I think there are or should be codes among street musicians, and I think there are. I know that
keeping up your spot and keeping it clean is very important. Never leaving behind trash or anything like that. It's important not to do anything that's going to reflect badly or irritate any of the merchants that are in the area that you're playing, because then, you know, either yourself or future street musicians are not going to be able to play there. You got to keep some distance between, if you're in an area where there's a lot of street musicians, you got to keep some distance so that you're not infringing on somebody else's territory and not bothering them. If you know somebody plays a certain spot, you know, I know for me, when I get to a town and I meet the street musicians that are working there and I know they're playing a certain spot at a certain time, I will not try and go get there before them and take their spot away from them and so on and so forth. And I think if it's like a really, really good spot, then it's probably respectful to only stay there for an hour or two and get off so that somebody else can come and use it.
What happened was, the day in Jackson Square, what happened, this guy, I've been having words with him for a long time.
Glenn David Andrews, traditional jazz New Orleans musician, 4th generation musician. We needed somewhere to go play. And there's a spot called Jackson Square where many bands played, you know, back when I wasn't born.
Jackson Square has always been a place where New Orleans musicians will be able to come out and play, to make a living, to survive, and keep a tradition going that's been going on for hundreds of years, being from New Orleans. That's what New Orleans is all about. It's about the music. Without the music, the city wouldn't live.
We needed a spot to play, so we said we're gonna go see if we can play by them. Try to get, you know, not by them, like on the side of them, you know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to disrespect them. So before we could play, one of them came over there and was just saying, we can't play right here. We don't think it's the people gonna call the police.
Since the late 90s till now, 2000, we've been having problems with the city council.
The significance of Jackson Square is to play in this spot for what we fought for the right to play in this spot.
And having a noise ordinance to what we have to abide by. So many decibels above the noise ordinance could get our instruments impounded.
Who are you fighting?
The city of New Orleans to play in this spot.
We can perform after 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock curfew.
Right, and they agreed to that eventually?
Well, eventually we wouldn't give up, so we kept fighting for it.
And the kids today don't understand that when you're performing out here, we have to work with one another. If they decide to play while there's a service going on or something's going on, it will result to reflect on all musicians, not just themselves.
I thought maybe some of the older musicians here were upset. That's why I wanted nobody.
We upset that they don't listen to what we're trying to teach them.
Even though they're responsible for themselves, but it could cause a turnaround for us to have the Jackson Square music tradition die.
So I was saying, well, look, we're gonna play low. You know what I'm saying? I said, I heard what you saying, but I'm gonna just, you know, I'm gonna play low.
He was trying to say, the police are gonna come, so y'all should leave, go to another spot. But in actuality, they was playing right around the corner from where we were playing at, as if to say music doesn't travel around the corner. You know, that didn't make sense. So sometimes you gotta read between the lines. If y'all playing right here and y'all facing the wall, definitely the music is gonna bounce from this wall and go to that wall and hit the people's house. So why wouldn't they call the police on y'all?
We played low, it turned out all right. And it's like, the other man, he called the challenge.
Then he came up with this thing. I kind of knew that it was a setup. The reason he came over there and called us and said, now it's y'all turn, because it had reached 8 o'clock. And 8 o'clock is the shutdown time. Now, we actually are the only band that plays after 8 o'clock. And he didn't know that because of the people I could talk to. And what he did was, he said, it's y'all turn now.
You know what I'm saying? They were playing over there, we were over here, and he came like, and the thing was like y'all turn. You know what I'm saying? So we challenging them. So we said, man, let's go down there. Let's go blow them out.
That's a grown man. This gentleman here is only 15. This gentleman here is only 17. He's only 17.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me explain something to y'all, bro. Serious. I've been out here since 1970. Hold up, bro. Excuse me. We about to go. We about to go. We have haters among us. Yeah. Grown men, they don't have to talk to kids like this. We're trying to do something ourselves. We're trying to we're not setting an example for us. The example is you to play here and better things, but you are still here. Let the younger people get a chance. With that mindset, you can never tell been there how to get there, because I've been there.
Thank you.
And you're going there.
You got the right mindset, baby. You're going to make it.
The people want to hear new music!
Portland does. Santa Cruz does. San Francisco kind of does. Chicago has a real good program. You get permits. Costs you $10, but you get a permit, and permit's good for I think 60 days or something like that. And you can play anywhere that the city owns. 4th Avenue in Tucson and Mill Avenue in Phoenix both used to be great places to hang out and play music, but now you can't even legally stop. You can't sit on the sidewalk, you can't have your guitar case out there, anything like that.
Sometimes I'm on the ball, man, and I'm really fucking going at it with some hardcore shit, and I'm playing some real fucking shit, and that's like really fucking pushing, man, and it's like, you know, me completely exposed, like fucking naked, or as a newborn child, like, you know, fucking helpless and fucking strong at the same time, fucking screaming into that shit, and people just still walk by, you know, and sometimes you can't help but think of why, like, you know, I don't know if it's just maybe they didn't hear it or they're too busy. I don't know. I can't explain what it is. But goddamn, that's one of the most frustrating fucking things. Because when you're really fucking playing, and you're playing some hot fucking shit, and maybe for those, maybe even for like 15 minutes that you played that song, you're the best goddamn fucking musician on this earth. Just because you gave it your soul. And these people just walk by, man, and you think, fuck. What, I don't know, man, what's it gonna take? And just that kind of shit is just speechless, you know? I mean, you just think, oh, they must be blinded by something else, man. I mean, I don't even expect a tip, you know? Like, fuck the money, man. At that point, that's not what it's about, you know? I mean, I'm exposing myself, fuck it. You don't have to drop $50 bill, $1 bill, 25 cents, you don't have to drop it, man. At that point, it's just like stop, smile, nod, do something, man, enjoy, appreciate, I'm exposed, you know, fucking, you know, anything, blink, something, you know, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Real soon, because I'm trying to take my ministry above that. Not as in status. It's not about that at all. But being able to reach people with the music in a different setting where they're more relaxed, they're not in a hurry to jump on a train and run. Because they have 1,001 things to do, and you know, they can come out and sit down and enjoy themselves. You know, feel the vibrations, you know. So soon, you know, it's time. It's time.